What the heck is up, guys? It's Jacob here, and in this video I just want to make a quick video about how breadboards are wired kind of internally, so you guys know how to hook up components to them. Especially if it's your first time ever doing this, you won't know. It's kind of like a mystery, so I thought I'd just make a quick video showing you guys that. So this is a pretty common type of breadboard. You'll see this is a smaller breadboard here. They're pretty much the same. A lot of breadboards follow this pattern, so if yours looks a little bit different, it's all right. Some of them don't have these little power rails on the side. They only have the centerpiece, so just the centerpiece will follow this. But yeah, for the most part, they're all the same, so it doesn't really matter. But this is a really common one, so let's check it out. So on the breadboard, there's always going to be this piece in the middle. There's always this gap. You see it on the smaller ones, you see it on the bigger ones. It will always be there. And that is a pretty important piece. It separates these. So basically, these are connected. I'll just draw on this one. It doesn't bother me. So they're connected across in this way. So each row is connected this way, not this way. These are all independent of each other. All these holes horizontally, the way you're viewing them on the screen right now, horizontally are independent of each other. And they are connected across like this. Okay? So and same with these power lines. These go this direction. So in this way, they're labeled. So all these black ones are connected kind of across up here. And in most breadboards I've dealt with, you see this gap here. This is what separates them. So this whole power rail will be on one side. So all these blues right here will be connected. All these reds will be connected, but they're not connected to this side typically. In most breadboards I've seen. So this whole side will be separated. It'll all have its own reds. This will all have its own blues. And so you have basically 4 separate power rails here. You have one blue over here. You have one blue over here. Blue, blue, and then a red, 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 red. So that's how you can do all your power. And typically I put jumpers in between them anyways to tie them all together, because I don't really have that many voltage rails, and I want them to kind of be all together anyways, because typically my projects span the entire board. So anyways, that's how they are connected in the center, and that's how the power rails are connected, but these are not connected here. So this, if I draw this black over here, this is not connected to here, so they are separate. So this piece that we see in the middle here kind of separates it. So these are connected here, but not to these over here. They're separate, and it's very important for when you're going to put in something like one of these dip packages. These dip packages always have to go across the center like that. So this microcontroller would go over the center. You cannot stick like a dip package right here, because if I put it right here, again, these rows are connected vertically in the way that you're viewing it on the screen. And so these pins here will be connected across from each other. So basically the pins on this actual microcontroller here, this pin would be connected directly to the pin across from it, which obviously would result in nothing working. So something like this little TO220 package here, if you wanted to stick one of these in a breadboard, you could pop it in like this. You'd have to put it in like this. And basically these 3 pins now are separated. So you'd have one of them would go to here, one of them would go to here, and one of them would go to here. So any wire you stick in any of these holes would go to the legs of this transistor. If you stuck this transistor into the breadboard like this, all 3 of these legs of this transistor, I'll just bend this back a little bit so you guys can see, all 3 legs of this transistor are connected to each other, and it would not work at all, and nothing would happen. So that's how the breadboard is wired. Another component, this is just a smaller. If you put this in there, a lot of times you have to bend the legs on these a little bit so that they actually fit inside there. Then you can pop it in there just like that, and I'll just show you guys that, bend it back. And so in this case, you'd have a leg here, here, and here. And so those are the 3 separate legs going to the transistor. So that's how those are wired, but it is not, again, connected to this side. So these 2 sides are completely separate. And then something like a resistor, if you had a resistor, oftentimes you can go between 2 points like this on the breadboard. So you could go, I'll show that to you like that. So one side of the resistor would be connected anywhere in this row, the other side would be connected anywhere in this row. And you can also connect a resistor in this fashion, where one leg will be connected to this black side, this side that I have colored here. The other leg would be connected to all of this side. And you could also go between anywhere on these power rails and any point on the breadboard as well. So for instance, if you wanted to connect, say, an LED, let me grab an LED here. you would have to go between 2 points on the breadboard, 2 separate points. You cannot put the LED in like this. If you put an LED in a breadboard like this, you are essentially just connecting the 2 leads together. It's essentially doing the same thing as just touching these 2 leads together, so it's not going to work. You'd have to take it out and put it in like this, to where they are in separate vertical rows in the way that you're viewing this video right now. And the resistor, well, you could take one wire, so let me grab a wire here. And so you could take one wire and go to the lead here, and this could go to, say, your negative rail, and that would connect the negative rail to the bottom of this LED, and you could go to any hole in this row or column, whatever you want to call it. And then the other one, we could go to the positive on this resistor, so it would go straight to the positive rail like that, and the other side would go just to any hole in this row or column, and that would light up that LED if this guy here had power. And then so for this breadboard, this one's just the same as that. And actually, if you look at the center of the breadboards, they're essentially exactly the same, minus the power rails. This breadboard is the same as that, and it's just a little bit smaller. So a lot of breadboards will follow this pattern. And on this breadboard, it's exactly the same way. These rows are connected in this fashion. So they are separated horizontally the way you're viewing this video, and they are connected vertically the way you are viewing this video. And they are not connected across this divider here, so this divider separates them. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all you need to know for a breadboard as far as how they're wired. So I hope this cleared some things up for you guys, and as always, guys, have a good one.